Hi guys, welcome to Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook. Today we'll be drawing this cute little squirrel, so let's get started. To start my little squirrel, I'm going to begin by drawing a small, slightly angled triangle for his nose. To begin, draw the front side of your triangle and then the back side, filling it in so that the top of the triangle is slightly angled towards one of the corners of your page. Then from the bottom of the nose, you can create a small hook to create a little smile. Next, for the eye, draw a large oval and then coming back to the top of your eye, we're going to sweep in a little eyelid by just drawing a small line that extends upwards from the top of his eye. Create a large circle inside along the top and a small heart underneath, or of course a small dot if you don't want to make a heart or if you simply don't have room. And then shade in the eye. Next, we'll draw the squirrel's cheek by creating our oval coming from one side, sweeping underneath the eye and closing on the other side. You can add a small upturned eyebrow for a cute little expression. Then coming back to the front of his nose at the top, I'm going to create a small curve that sweeps over the top of his face. I'm going to stop just past his eyebrow, and then coming back around to the bottom of his mouth, I'm going to create a big, shallow U shape that sweeps underneath his head. Leaving a big opening, I'm going to start drawing in his ears. Begin by creating a triangle with rounded sides that open into your squirrel's face. Then, coming back to the top of the ear, draw a third curved line coming in towards the face. Finally, close off the back of your squirrel's head. Then, we're going to create the ear on the other side by drawing a small, slightly curved triangle at the top of his head and then drawing a third line to indicate the inside of his ear. Next thing we're going to do is map out where we're going to start drawing our squirrel's body. So the front of his body is going to start just beneath his eye, and the back of his body will come just about underneath the ear. So coming back to the front, we're going to draw a small, slightly curved line that's moving towards the center of his body. Then coming back into the body, we're going to create the first paw by drawing a curved line that dips down at the front, creating a small little circle at the front and then drawing in his little paw lines. Then to draw in the back paw, I'm just going to make a really small little hook that touches the front of his body and the top of his front paw. From the underside of his front paw, I'm going to create another very shallow curved line that just comes a little bit down the length of his body. To create the back, start at your back marker and draw a line that moves in towards the paw and then sweeps out and around to create his bottom. To draw in his front leg, I'm going to come to the bottom of that small curved line in the body and create a C shape that faces towards the bottom of my page, and then I'm going to sweep out his foot in a small laying down letter J form. Then to close off his body, I'm going to just draw a straight line from the top of his foot to the back of his bottom. Then I'm going to close off his belly by finishing the line from underneath his front paw and connecting it to his leg or foot. If you have space, you can draw in a back foot by just creating a small curved line that mirrors his front foot. For the squirrel's tail, we're going to make 2 little markers that are just coming out of his bottom. So the top marker is about in line with the top of his leg. To create the first line for the tail, I'm going to draw something like a really funny looking S that comes out the back of his body and just touches beneath his head. Then I'm going to imagine that this S is curving into a circle and come out at the top of the squirrel's head and start to draw a spiral. So begin by making one large sweeping pencil line or pen line, and then begin to spiral that in towards a little center. Then coming to about center of this spiral, we're going to finish closing off the squirrel's tail by mirroring the first line you made coming from his back to the bottom of his head. Next, I'm going to draw the acorn he's holding. So start with a small line in front of his body under his paw and then extend it out from the front side of his paw. At the bottom of this line, draw in a rounded dome or triangle shape with a nice flat bottom. Then, from one side, bring your pen down to create a big U that connects on the other side. This will be the bottom of your acorn. If you'd like it to be extra cute, then feel free to add in a little face. Now that this little squirrel is complete, I'm going to draw his setting. To begin, I'm going to start by drawing a branch for him to be standing on. Starting with a line slightly above the bottom of his foot, I'm going to draw out towards one side of the paper, adding branches as I go. My branches are just bumpy little lines that meet at a point, and you can make as many or as few of these as you want. Come back to the front side of his body and extend the branch out towards the other side of your paper, adding branches as you go. Then I'm going to create the bottom side of the branch by just drawing a line that comes beneath the bottom of his foot, and again adding a couple branches as I go. To add more details to this branch, I'm going to draw in some leaves. So when I draw in my leaves, I just draw 2 curved lines that face each other and come to a point at the top and the bottom. Then to make the veins, I draw 1 line from the bottom to the top of the leaf, and then small little lines that go from this center line to the outside edges of my leaf. You can draw as many leaves as you like. You can even add flowers. When you're all done drawing your leaves, then we're going to add in some other little whimsical details. So I'm going to begin by drawing some floating leaves. So to draw my floating leaves, I start with just a nice curved line, and then coming to one end of that line, I'm going to draw another curved line that faces it, leaving a small tail, which indicates the stem of the leaf. You can fill your leaves in by drawing a vertical line from one end to the other, and then making your small little lines growing out of the center. I'm going to create another floating leaf on the front side of my squirrel, so once again drawing a long curved line, and then closing that off by starting at one end and then just sweeping a curved line, leaving a tail. Drawing in the veins of my leaf with my center line and my little small angled lines reaching out to the edges of the leaf. And just to make things extra cute, I'm going to draw in some little floating acorns. So starting with my little domed cap, I'm going to create a small little semicircle right at the top, like a little small button. and then drawing in my U shape for the rest of my acorn and adding in a little happy face. Finally, I'm going to add one last acorn at the very top of my picture, always starting with the cap, creating my little button, and then my big U shape, and finally a little face. Thank you so much for joining me today to draw this cute little squirrel. I can't wait until next time for another Draw with Sandee at the Little Artistic Nook. Until then, keep making art and keep smiling.